and you really must tune in. He's ironic, iconic, maybe bionic. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing a genius. He's a genius.
Hello, ladies and gents. I'm Michael Burhan, and this is
Ollie Review.
And we're doing a review of Payday 2. He's doing it on a megaphone that he found. Basically, it's because my daughter's megaphone.
It's an official thing. You can do it through this.
He's going to be like this for the whole interview, guys. So I'm sorry.
Don't apologise. People love my charm.
They do. Now, tell us a little bit about your experience, because he played the game predominantly due to the fact that he's a kind of an FPS game player. He likes to use the pads. He can use like the combination of mouse PC. He was using the touchpad on the laptop to play this game. I played a few levels myself. We did like a few bits of like co-op play.
Yeah.
Now, what was your first experience with the game? And please say it without the megaphone.
No, this was more fun. Okay. Oh, that was. I'm coming back to that megaphone. Yeah, I mean, the game was all right. It was nothing special. Obviously, we had to use the keypad and the mouse pad, which kind of
It hindered us a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, because it took away some of the functionality.
Yeah.
You could run forward and move the camera around, or you could strafe. You couldn't move the camera and strafe, so you had to kind of stop, physically turn, sidestep, physically turn, step forward, physically turn. So it massively slowed. And aiming is, that really slowed us down. Just mechanics-wise, but I mean that's not the game's fault.
No, it's more just the fact that we chose to play it on Steam instead of actually choosing to play it on like the Xbox 360 or the PS3. The one thing about it as well that I found was the AI was incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I mean you can play. I mean initially we played offline, so we just had two bots on our team.
Yeah.
And you'd expect, like, you break into an office and there's two entrances, you'd expect two guys, one to guard each entrance. But they wouldn't. They'd both go down the stairs and stand in the doorway with their back to the police.
Yeah, I like where he trip-fired and like he killed someone and the AI started killing every random fucking person.
I mean, because I was using the mouse pad to move, I accidentally tapped it and it executed on the prisoners. So all the AI started executing prisoners, like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, let's just do the same thing he's doing.
Yeah, and the police AI was almost just as bad. There was points where they'd run and they'd run right up to me.
Yeah.
Then realise I was there and then start firing.
It was like an influx of police officers as well. It was like they were in there for the bodies. It wasn't how accurate they were at shooting. It's how many of them could go in there and fire at you at the same time.
Yeah.
Plus the tear gas. And we found as well there were certain elements you could get in the rooms, like from money to like you found a safe full of coke.
Yeah, I found it was like find a safe. So I opened the safe and
it was the wrong safe.
Yeah, that's another annoying thing. Everything in the game is very, very slow.
Yes.
Like I understand you breaking into safes and stuff isn't a quick thing, but you get like a drill, you place it on the safe. About 2 minutes later it goes, oh yeah, the drill stopped. You're like, okay, you have to restart the drill, and then it's another 2 minutes, and you're just like, you're not doing anything, but
there's more of an upgrade feature as well, because we understand that it starts slow, and then you upgrade everything in order to get a better sort of percentage.
The thing is, we did play with a couple of your friends, who were like level 100 and stuff, so they would have had...
Shout out to Banner out there, man.
They would have had a lot much better stuff.
Yeah.
But again, like when we were playing with them, they kind of showed us what the actual... Because there was no real tutorials, but they showed us basically the hostages. You have to tie them up, bring them back in, and keep them in certain areas so the police don't rescue them.
And that's the thing, with the tutorial, it only told us how to basically break into saves and to shoot. That was it. The things with the hostage, we had to figure that out ourselves, and when we did an online multiplayer, we figured that out
because we saw other people doing it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you should have been. The tutorial should have been there to help you to begin with. I don't blame the game too much. The fact is, a lot of it's kind of a learning curve, and because it's the second game, it's a sequel.
It should be better. No, I'm sorry, but if you're a sequel, you should have had these things ironed out. Yes, I understand. In the first game, you look and go, "Oh, okay, yeah, we should have done that. We should have done that." But in the sequel, these things should have been ironed out.
So, what do you think of basically the graphics in a sense? Because you were hammering on a little bit about how you felt like a lot of it looked like wallpaper.
Yeah, do you know what?
And this is kind of like a Duke Nukem 3D type thing.
This is a new game, right?
Yeah. It looks like things were kind of etched on, like you had a box and then kind of pasted it on there.
It looked like PS2, early PS3 graphics. It was clearly the wall, rather than being made up of a wall and then like a box in front of the wall and then like a picture. It's all one wallpaper where the picture's part of the texture. It's like games are better than that nowadays. Where we had the graphics up on high.
And it was like 7 gig, wasn't it, for this game as a download?
Yeah.
It was like 7 gig on Steam. So it should have been a lot better in terms of detail. The one thing I can say, I'm trying to think of other positives. It is fun to play, when you go through the missions and you escape the cops and you basically perform the heist. Like, I know you had a bit of fun with the jewellery heist.
I did. I had a kind of... it was alright because there's different types. There's like you get nightclubs, jewellery places, obviously banks. But the one thing that bugged me was you start off with no gun out, with no mask on and stuff, and it gives you the kind of choice like, oh, you could do it stealth, but you can't. The second you step into an area you're not meant to, you suddenly put on your mask and pull out your gun. Yeah. And then all the guards go, oh, he's got a gun, let's shoot him. And then they call the police, and it's like...
Yeah. It gets really silly at times because it says, oh, you need to find the key card, and you're thinking, okay, so I'll need to find someone and pick their pocket to get the key card. No.
Yeah, if you go up to the guard and press the action button, it goes, oh, I can't do anything while I'm scouting the place out. It's like, okay, I understand you can't do anything while scouting the place out, but
don't give us that option then. Don't basically say to us that we can do things in stealth when there's no stealth mechanic. It's literally you put the mask on, you hold the hostage down, and then eventually if you click on the right person, they'll give you what you need. But there's no point in that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It goes into the shooting thing straight away, almost, which I don't mind, but there's no crosshairs. Yeah. This is a first-person shooter without crosshairs, so we do have a... Did we record the short play?
Yeah, we did. We recorded basically 5 different short plays of this. I'm uploading the first part now.
Yeah, and there literally was. The police would burst in, and I'd have to just spray roughly at the door. Yeah. And you'd take them down quite easily because you have an automatic weapon. But there were certain points where I was emptying entire clips at one guy who's hidden slightly behind the door.
Yeah. And that's another thing as well. I think the difficulty on this game, it makes it difficult without being difficult. Like, you can take down hordes of police officers at once. The moment someone gets stuck behind something, you're dead. Or if you walk out and you're an inch out of a room that you're supposed to be, bam, you're shot by a sniper. Yeah. It makes no sense.
There was that point, which is something I've played first person shooters, and the thing is, this is something that used to bug a lot of people, but they got over it because they changed. Like, there was a point where I was in a bank or something, and then I was backing up from the police to try, because I knew where the corner was, so I was trying to back up to go around the corner, and I was like, why can't I back up anymore? Why can't I back up anymore? So I had to go, kind of turn around, and there was a flagpole, not rooted into the ground or anything, just a freestanding flagpole that should have been knocked over. But because it was texture, I got stuck on the flagpole and almost died, which is...
There wasn't really
games
much
nowadays.
Yeah, they
basically should be free destructive things. They should knock them over.
A lot of games have that. Like if you played like Borderlands and like Far Cry, a lot of those games have those destructible kind of elements. Even GTA 5.
Even stuff like just there's something like this on the table, you can knock it off. Yeah.
With this, the only thing that was destructible was kind of glass or anything that you drilled into.
That was bad because I went point blank up to a window and fired my gun, and the expended shells just glitched out and kind of just hovered at the window because the window's bulletproof somehow.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. I think when we're looking at this game, it had some nice sounds. There was a nice kind of ambience to it. The music was really, really nice. Yeah. I did get annoyed with that Latino guy constantly talking to us. He sounded like he was jumbled, like he was saying certain phrases, but they were being pieced together. Yeah. It didn't seem organic enough.
And it definitely felt forced because there were certain points like until
Yeah.
you find the safe, he doesn't really say anything.
Yeah.
And then once you find the safe and you put the drill on it,
keeps hammering
he keeps
down.
going,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're now what you're doing is now got your back to the safe, your gun to the door in case any police come in, and he's like, "Quick, do the safe, do
Yeah.
your thing."
Yeah.
And then about a minute later, "Quick, do the safe, do your thing." It's
That got annoying.
It's like
quick.
I can't speed the drill up, and do you know what? That's what the drill break or stops working. You have to restart it.
Yeah.
Even the AI, like your bots, complain. Oh, not the drill again. It's like fuck's sake, buy better gear. If you're,
It should give you the option as well to have your AI be able to reactivate the drill while you're busy, like freaking
yeah,
shooting
because
someone.
I had to stop shooting this door, like well, not the door,
Get
but
in
the
the freaking
doorway.
crossfire. Yeah.
Go out, kind of turn the drill back on. I turned around, and the AI had let a load of police in the door. It's like, what?
Yeah, it was really bad in a sense. Now, we're not saying this game's horrendous. It's not. It's a pretty good game. It's not amazing, and a lot of people come out and just like, oh, it's the greatest thing in the world since sliced bread. It really isn't. And for the price tag that it's being charged for at the moment, I believe it's still on the £30 price tag.
Yeah.
I don't think the game is worth it. I think the best bet for anybody who wants to buy it, in my opinion, I'd probably get it pre-owned. Maybe £20 or less.
Yeah, do you know what? I mean, I'm not a massive first-person shooter like the Call of Duty sort of game.
Yeah.
But to be honest, they've got this rounded up. This is like a bad.
GTA has it rounded up.
No, but the thing is, GTA is third person.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what I mean, a first-person shooter has been done. I mean, it was done. The first thing I'd say done really well was Halo.
Yeah.
That was the first really good first-person shooter. I mean, some of you may disagree. Some of you might go, "There's other games before that."
Yeah.
But first Halo was the one who kind of nailed it. Like, this is what a first-person shooter should be. And things like Call of Duty took that template. Like, this is how it's meant to be. They've obviously got their own engine, but this was like, we're going to scrap that and kind of make it clunky, make people get caught on stuff.
It didn't know what it was
AI
focusing
bad.
on as well.
Yeah, it felt like the whole heist could be a mini mission.
Yeah.
It could be a side mission, like like a free roaming game where you run around the streets, like a sandbox game, and you can click on this building and get a few friends, like when GTA type thing, and do the mission. And then, because all it is a mission, then it goes to the lobby screen.
It's kind of a
another
cut and
mission,
paste.
and then another lobby screen.
There's no story or structure to it whatsoever. It's like, do the mission, earn money, get as many guns as possibly can, upgrade the guns, upgrade your team, upgrade yourself, and keep doing it. There's no end to it.
Yeah, it took us ages to actually work out how to play the game, because we were like, okay, we're on the main menu, and we're like, okay, what do we do? My hideout. Maybe from my hideout I can go to a map or something. And then we were just wandering around my hideout for ages going like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah, and that's the thing, when we did it, I played the game previously. I couldn't figure out how to actually go into the mission mode. I gave up. Then I was like, you know what, let's have a crack at it. Ollie's more experienced at this thing.
Yeah, there's a laptop in the hideout, and you click on it. I thought, okay, the laptop, that's clearly where you go into missions. It goes, do you want to exit this session? It's like, no, I don't want to exit the session.
But you kind of happened on that by accident, didn't you?
No, but the thing is, that's technically entering the game.
Yeah.
Exiting the session is entering the game, which is kind of weird, because that's what it threw me.
Yeah,
so
you don't go to the menu to go on like for the hideout and then go back into the menu to enter into the game again to do the missions. It makes no sense. It's bad. It's kind of a bad mechanic. Now, as I said again, I don't see this as a positively bad game, but I do feel that there's a lot of work that needs to go into this game to make it work a lot better. They need to focus on one mechanic and get that working and done properly, and then you also need to focus on their targeting controls, because it wasn't as great as it should have been.
No, the one thing that really did annoy me was the lack of crosshair. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't have a crosshair. Third-person games, I can understand they don't have crosshairs until you actually zoom in.
Yeah,
and it's kind of the button scheme on the PC was obviously. You could zoom in with the right mouse button, which looked down the scope, which technically is having a crosshair, but you can't move while doing that. So you have to stay. It's like old school Resident Evil, where you have to stop, shoot, move, stop, shoot.
Basically the tank controls. It was using tank controls in order to do it.
Yeah.
Now, last but not least, let's go for all our scores. I'm going to give this game out of 10, of course, because I do, when I do movie reviews, it's usually out of 5. Out of 10 being 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I would give this game a solid 6 out of 10. And reason being, I feel that there's a lot of bad points to this game. It would be fun. I think it's a lot more fun if you're playing co-op play than if you're playing single play. It just seems extremely broken in terms of the way that the game works, the mechanics, the fact that a lot of it doesn't kind of add up. The textures in the game don't seem to work a lot more. And the thing is, with the games like this as well, the focal point is to sell more DLC. So that's the main thing, more missions, more things to do, like more ammo, more packs.
Yeah, better weapons.
Yeah, so they'll give you like kind of the bargain basement thing first, and then the DLC will elevate the game up a bit more.
Because certain games are starting to do that, where they're selling you half a game and then selling you the rest of the game as DLC.
Do you think that this was half a game in terms of the way it played?
Do you know what? There wasn't much to the game.
Yeah.
There was your layer, as I called it, which, to be honest, is basically Fable did that in the first game, where you had a house and you kind of see how much money you had.
But at least it was with Fable, you had like money. You had money. You could upgrade your character. There was a story. There was a structure.
And it was really unclear how much money you get, because it would tell you kind of you had this much money, this much money, this much money, and then at the end you'd have only like. Oh, that 300 grand from that heist. That's awesome. And then it'd be like, you got like 20. It's like, what? Where did the rest go?
So what would you like give this out of a 10?
Out of 10, I would give this game a solid 4. Don't know why I did that, but 4, 3.5, 4. The graphics were massively substandard.
Especially for next gen. This is like, you're looking at 360 PS3 kind of graphics, and this wasn't that.
No, this was
barely PC, I think.
This is barely PS2.
Yeah.
This was old school, like kind of almost like it just didn't feel fluid. The shooting wasn't great. They promised stealth, and they didn't that didn't kind of solidify. Whatever the word was. The AI was terrible. The shooting is horrible. The story is non-existent. Again, the graphics are bad. The idea of breaking into vaults is a mini game at best. Because it's like other first-person shooters, you can go into a lobby and play King of the Hill, and that'll be that type of game. You could play Last Man Standing. You can play Capture the Flag. Any of these games, that's what this feels like. Those games, but they're side things to the main game.
Yeah, it did. There was no story, no structure whatsoever, and I think that's the big thing here.
You could play on or offline with the heists, which means you just get 2 AIs as your friends, which is stupid. It's better when you have actual people as your kind of friends, because they can actually guard the doors and stuff. And
with the shitty AI, at least you can organise it a lot more in co-op.
Yeah, but 4 at best. It's a bad game. I mean, I know we shouldn't be telling. They gave us this game to review, so we shouldn't really be calling it a bad game, but honestly, it's the second one of a series. I never played the first one because I know it didn't really interest me, but I thought, do you know what? The second one's got to be better, because it's obviously learned its mistakes. Unless the first one was a good game and they just decided to kind of go down this route on the second one to make more money.
Yeah, but again, as I said, this game is mostly based on DLC. So once I may go and start downloading some DLC, see if it actually improves the quality. But that's pretty much it. And guys, as always, leave your comments, like, comment, subscribe if you feel that what we're saying here is wrong.
Especially me, because I seem to be slagging it off a lot.
Yeah, but again, it's opinions. It's subjective.
Or if we've missed something in the game, if there was something like key, like, oh my god, you didn't get to see this part, let us know. We'll give it another go. But to be honest, it's not a game I ever want to play again. It feels horrible to play.
It does feel,
and that's
really
not just
rushed.
the controls, because I've played like emulators and stuff, and with the same sort of clunky controls, but it adapts. It's not so.
But I don't think tank controls should have been used in a first-person shooter.
I don't think it is tank controls. It's just because of the mouse and keypad.
Probably. But again, our experience is probably just based on the fact that it just didn't translate well onto my laptop than it should have done on the Xbox 360 and PS3.
But then the thing is that the graphics and the AI are nothing to do with the control scheme.
Very true. And I've got a very high-end graphics card on my machine. So we'll leave it at that, guys. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, leave your comments at the bottom. If you feel that we're wrong, please tell us, and we would love to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
And as always, he's Oliver Hughes, I'm Michael Burhan, saying that we've got gameplay.
Have you?
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.